For over a year and a half now, we've been wondering, will Joe Biden do what he said he would do many times on the campaign trail, which is to cancel some student loan debt? And he did his little investigation and they gave a report back like a year ago. And it's at one point it was gonna be $10,000. Then people talked about the possibility of 50,000. That seemed like a crazy dream. And now so much time has passed and we've been through so many iterations of this that we ended up at kind of what we thought was gonna happen, maybe in some ways a little bit better. But all of this in the context of it's Joe Biden. And Joe Biden is a centrist Democrat. So you get what you expect kind of out of it. He has announced, perhaps most importantly, $10,000 of debt forgiveness for most students, as well as $10,000 additional dollars of forgiveness for students who receive Pell Grants. And so, I would be interested to see in our chat right now, if you have student loan debt, leave a message. If you took Pell Grants, I'm curious. I know I in college had Pell Grants, but I don't know what percentage of those with certain amounts of debt have it right now. But that is how they're gonna sort of nuance to a position of, well, it's not just $10,000, it's in theory $20,000, maybe. If you took Pell Grants, if your Pell Grants were at least $10,000, if you make less than $125,000 a year, your household double that, then in theory for some, this could amount to 20,000, which is not halfway between 10 and 50, but it's a little bit more in any event. We'll find out in a year exactly how it's gonna break down on average what people got. It's probably gonna be on average somewhere between there, 12,000, 14,000, 16,000, something like that. But in addition to the loan debt cancellation, they're also doing a pause on payments until December 31st, which is good. If you're still struggling, as many are from the pandemic and the economic downturn that we've experienced over the past year, then not having to do the repayments for a few more months is good. But it is barely kicking the can down the road. It's tipping the can over down the road. And maybe if the wind hits the can, it might roll a bit, but you didn't really kick it at that point. It's 3 months from now. We're still gonna we're one Marvel series from that. So look, there's gonna be a lot more nuance. There's some more good news, and we definitely have some criticism. But I know JR, I want to get your overall. What's your gut reaction when you found out what they had compared to what maybe you thought they might do? Overall, how happy should we be about this?
Maybe as far as what I thought they might do is it's gonna be a little bit more pessimistic because what I thought they would do was probably even less than this. So but it doesn't mean that it's just like fabulous. But I mean, it's something, right? I mean, you want to find yourself somewhere in the middle because that's where they've found themselves. Because I think a lot of people maybe also thought like me that, yeah, sure, this is a lot of window dressing. This is him wanting to look like he's fulfilling this campaign promise, but also at the same time, not looking like he's giving away to these socialist programs and these damn millennials and their laziness of wanting to eat and have a roof over their head. How dare they? So he's having to try and make sure he keeps those people quiet, but then also trying to keep all those crazy people quiet. They're like, you said something, you were elected partially off of saying that 2 + 2 is 4. So yeah, of course we'll find ourselves in the middle, and people will be happy to an extent because something will happen for, I guess, a significant number of people. But then again, it goes straight to the next step, down to December 31st. There's reasons why they have these types of moments or these deadlines to get to the point. And all people will be doing for the next, as you mentioned, next few months is waiting and be like, okay, it's beginning this next month. Have they done anything? It's like you're keeping them like hooked.
Yeah, I guess. Look, maybe this is, well, okay, we want to make it so that it comes after the midterms, so they have to vote us back in so that we can then do it again. Although not really, because he's still gonna be the president regardless. So in theory, if he can delay it for a couple months, he can delay it for a year if he wanted to. In the same way as we're gonna return to multiple times during this clip, if he can cancel 10,000, he can cancel 50. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. You could do all of these things. But anyway, let's pause for 1 second to take stock of the fact that we are in, and you've sort of alluded to this, JR, in the worst possible position, because many people will be talking about this issue today, and they will be able to provide for their audience purity. Oh, they're gonna have things to say about this that are gonna feel so good, so good. They're gonna tell you on CNN, that this is historic, it's amazing, it's the most that could possibly be done. Many will probably hint it probably shouldn't have even been done. In fact, and some on CNN are already starting to say that. But the ones who love Biden will say, oh my God, look at our savior. Great Joe Biden, he did this. No one else could have gotten it done, even though literally anyone else as president could have done this or more. On the other hand, others will say, this is absolutely nothing for no one. And this is the exact same thing that you would have gotten with Trump. Now, neither of those positions are in any way true. They are very, very pure in the way that unicorn dust is. It's hypothetical, but it feels good, I guess, in your imagination. The reality is that this is not nearly enough for many, many millions of people who have far more than $10,000 or even $20,000 in student loan debt. Many of you are probably watching right now. Some of you are commenting there as well. And the people for whom it is not enough, it would be bad enough if it was evenly distributed across the entire population, but it's not. That's not how it works at all. The cool thing about being rich is you also never have to deal with debt and interest and all that. So the richer you are, the less you have to deal with these sorts of things. There are massive racial inequalities in student loan debt, like outstanding amounts of student loan debt, which means that racially this will hit very differently. At the same time, no, Trump was not gonna do this. If Trump was president right now, there would be zero, count them, $0 of student debt cancellation. There would be absolutely none. On the other hand, if it was Bernie, then the entire thing would probably be canceled. And so there, we've angered the people who want to hear that Biden's the exact same thing as Beelzebub, who is a sovereign in hell. And we've angered the people who believe that Joe Biden is the best thing to ever happen since, I want to say sliced bread, but Joe Biden is basically sliced bread for Democrats. It's basically the same thing. And so we all get to be frustrated. So isn't that fun, JR?
Yeah, I mean, why not, bro? There's when we talk about not covering the whole thing, or at least getting to this socialist point of view that we've got. I'm not sure if you're getting to this, but we do this all the time. Talking about the people that we actually value in society, and that's the fight that's happening. And as soon as the question gets asked, hey, why don't we go ahead and value folks that actually contribute so much to society? Because those socialist programs are giving it to these no good nobodies who don't deserve it. We can point out how much money is actually given, literally given away to folks that we think will better our society and our economy. But we just don't have that same type of importance put on folks like people that are commenting right now. Got to be honest.
Yeah.
But they won't say it that way.
Yeah.
And also, I'm sorry, this is the part I was forgetting. From December, then the next step is what all politicians they talk in election cycles. So once the midterms are over, say it's successful enough for Democrats, and then we don't know still what Joe Biden may do as far as re-election. That's always 50-50 lately. So then it goes to whoever may be the next standard bearer of the Democratic Party, or who's running for office. We'll let them decide what to do with it next. Yep. That's the kicking of the can down the road. And if he's not gonna be the one, then it's someone else who may say, you know what, I'm not on that at all. If Hillary's back.
Don't even do that. Not today. We're trying to have a little bit of hope out of this. But anyway, let me give you some more good details, I guess, and then we'll add more of the negative context. See, we do both. Look, if you want purity, there are people who will give you purity. You can go watch their shows. It's disconnected from reality. It's gonna lead you down a really dark path, but it'll feel good for a little bit. We don't do that, sorry. But anyway, so the White House says, and so take with a grain of salt, I trust this White House more than I trust the Trump White House, but it's still the White House. It is filled with politicians, so grains of salt on these estimates. But they say 90% of the relief will go to households earning $75,000 a year or less. That's an attempt, a futile attempt, to get out in advance of the right-wing narrative that the only people who benefit from this are people who got 3 doctorates in fine arts or something. It's not true, but they'll say it. Oh, and as a little preview, if the actual student loan debt cancellation doesn't make you feel that great, and I understand why it might not, you can at least look forward to enjoying, for the rest of at least today, the right wing absolutely losing their minds over this. There is nothing that they hate more than the idea that the government would do a thing that transfers money to people who work, to workers, and they just get the money. Oh my God. Ben Shapiro is going to shatter all of the glass within 10 miles of his studio with his shrieking. But anyway, in addition to that, they estimate, so first of all, again, $125,000 is a cap on income for you to get this $10,000 to $20,000, $250,000 for a year for your household. Again, I think that this is needless stuff that Dems do, this means testing, whatever, they're gonna do it. They're gonna continually try to seem like they're fiscally conservative, whatever. They believe that about 43 million people will be eligible for some level of forgiveness. About 20 million will have their entire debt canceled. So that is good. One small little thing is that according to Jeff Stein of the Washington Post, in the American Rescue Plan last year, there was some stipulation that means that now the debt cancellation that happens will not be counted as taxable income, which might seem like a small thing. But if they added $10,000 to $20,000 of taxable income, that would massively undercut how much was actually being canceled. So that's actually pretty significant. So that's good.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.